Hello, I'm doing this voiceover here outside my building, and I apologize in advance if the traffic noise or people walking by is distracting, but I can't really do anything about that. Anyway, this is a commission that I was asked to do. The client had asked me to make kind of a recreation of sorts of a previous painting that I'd sold called "The Future Has a Heart of Black Lightning," and I will post that on my Patreon when this goes up. But that original painting was watercolor and graphite and ink on heavy paper that was framed behind glass. And this is a little bit different. Well, it's significantly different. It's a wood painting cradle, like a wood panel, that I mounted paper onto, and then I cut a mat board in this asymmetrical shape and covered that in gold leaf. And so I'm doing the painting on that paper, and then I'll seal it in cold wax medium instead of glass. I think like the watercolor behind glass gets a little distancing, and so this makes it a bit more intimate when you're closer up and you don't see the reflection from the glass. There's just, you feel closer to the painting that way. So I've really liked that part of it. But anyway, I'm doing the sketching in different kinds of graphite pencils, and this is kind of the most fun part, where you're able to improvise and play with the lines and the forms and kind of see what comes out. At this point, I tried something a little different. I inked it. I inked the graphite line, so I have kind of mixed feelings about it. It kind of feels like you're just sort of filling in the lines of a coloring book, so it doesn't feel as painterly maybe as some of my other work in this style. But it's still sort of fun to do. And now at this point you can see my hands sort of jumping around the whole painting. And I spin the panel around and paint upside down sometimes. Whoops, there it goes. I'm just trying to keep the colors consistent and balanced, because these are kind of like abstract paintings. In a way, you're just sort of left to look at the shapes and the colors and kind of let your eye wander around it. They aren't meant to look gory or violent necessarily. They're just supposed to be colorful and let your eyes kind of look at the details. Let your eyes look at the details, guys. Words to live by. Anyway, I think this series of these gut paintings, they're really a more immediate way for me to express how I feel about where the world is headed these days. And they're kind of a response to just the daily news and how I feel about it. Like, these figures and these characters, they're in the middle of exploding right now. And you kind of don't know what the original form looked like, and you have no idea what they're turning into, but they're mutating into something. And so all you can do is just sort of look at the shapes as they're coming out. And that's really kind of how I'm seeing things these days. My other work was about characters who are in the middle of telling a story, and the viewer sort of imagines what the plot of the narrative is. And this is sort of similar to that, where you're just kind of wondering and making up what these things are in your mind, but really you're just left to look at this mess that's in front of you and just try to figure out what the shape actually is. And also the gold leaf border that was really just that just came just from pure Trump, and it's fake gold leaf too, if that gives you any idea of where I'm thinking here. And in the spinning of the canvas, you can see how my table is getting beaten up more and more. But right now I'm just adding the finishing little touches and highlights, trying to get a little bit more contrast. And that's pretty much it. Signed it, and here's a blurry, out of focus photo. Thanks a lot. More soon. Thank you again. Bye.